You and Tony, like having you guys here in this area is such a gift. You are free. Like I say this every podcast. I say it's free education, and it's not like you're just hiring someone, like hey, just find someone a stranger on Instagram. It's the best educated educators. It's not like you guys.
We're not just pulled off the street.
Like you guys took an online course and got a certificate to be a Redken educator.
Right. Like
it is free.
We had to go through intense training to be able to do this.
I want you to talk about the training you've been, because I liked hearing it from Olivia. I love hearing that stuff because I think people don't, I want them to understand. I desperately want people to understand this affects your career.
Yeah.
Because they get motivated. When you're in there, it's so fun. It takes a load off them. It's motivating. You get to know an educator that's there for you.
Right.
And this is also floors me about people who like push back using any of these companies' colors, because I'm like, they are investing in you and your future for free.
Right.
It's part of the built-in price of their color cost, let's say. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not that price for no reason.
Holy crap. And I'm like, how are you pushing back? Like there's no other company that, even if they wanted to do what Redken's doing, they can't.
No. They don't have the resources to do so.
They don't have the resources to do it.
And personally for me, when I was a booth renter, trying to pick your color, that's intimidating. And when you look at it as a whole, Redken's always there.
Yes.
Like whether you have an educator in your area, you always have the hotline. Yeah. And the hotline will put an educator on the phone to talk you through it.
Yes.
Like you have immense support. And like me and Tony are here to help. Like back in the day when Tony became a stylist, when I became a hairstylist, it's thousands of dollars to take some of this stuff. And new stylists don't have that yet. So we're free. Pick our brain. Ask us anything you want to ask us. If I don't have the answer, I promise you I know someone who does. And I will find that answer for you. So
that's what Olivia pointed out after she I don't know if you said graduated or whatever and got her teaching certificate or whatever from LP. I was asking her about her process, and then one of the things she pointed out was it's not just that you have you here from Redken, is that you have a big network of professionals, of educators that you can go to if you are stumped about something.
Right.
Like, it's insane. I'm like, the umbrella that Redken puts around stylists to support them is second to none.
Oh God, yeah.
And deserves everyone's attention. Like, it's one way, like if you, it's almost like people, you know, they went into the whole support local thing, and I'm like, this is kind of your way of supporting local. Like, they're supporting you more than anyone can support you and will.
Right. Like Redken recognizes if we don't support hairstylists with the changing of how clients are being, like they used to come in every 4 weeks and now they're not coming in for 6 months. And that puts a burden on stylists. Like we don't have that guaranteed income anymore, but Redken's like, we're putting you in this area to teach you how to sell more in your salon so that when you do have that client in your chair, you're making your ticket prices. Yeah. So you have confidence in what you're saying and how you're going to sell this to your client. And you're creating beautiful hair that keeps them coming back. Like we want you to feel supported, because if there's no hairstylists, who are we going to support? Yeah. Like there's no one to support if y'all go out of business. Yes. So we want to be there for you.
And with the change from going to 4 weeks to 6 weeks to say 8 weeks, you guys came out with ALK, which is perfect for the lived in look.
Absolutely. Because despite what hairstylists think, we do watch those Shades EQ forums and everything negatively that's said about Shades EQ, you know, we can look internally and say, you know what, Shades EQ is just not enough anymore. You know, clients want more. They want more from color. Stylists want more. So why not just make something? Yeah. We invest in that. And I think that's one thing I want stylists to understand is I used to work for another color company back in the day. And there's a big difference between companies telling you what you want to hear and how to like use a product that might not be used for that situation so that they don't have to come out with another product. Whereas Redken's like, no, we'll just come out with a whole new product. We're not going to tell you a lie that's not going to serve you later on. I don't want to say a lie, but maybe twist the truth a little bit. We just want to give you something new. Here's another tool. You're welcome.
We missed this, so we're coming out with that.
And we can acknowledge it. Like, you know, Shades EQ was great when it came out. It's still fabulous. People love Shades EQ for a reason. But what happens when you have that cowboy copper and I need it to last longer and I need it to be more vibrant, and Shades EQ just sometimes doesn't do it. And it's not designed to be that intense color. It's designed to be more of that whisper of color, which is great for the blondie blondes. And that's great for clients who want a little bit of wiggle room. But if you need that really powerful red, you now have it. without having to go into something that might damage the hair. So
Yeah.
that's always a big thing with that.
Yes. And Redken, well, I don't know what the time frame is, but at least in the last year, I want to say it's the last 6 months. When you look at, I mean, really started with acidic bonded, but that line alone is
Wild.
the best retail line out there at this moment. It's
not a bad word you could say about it. There really isn't.
And from like that point on, like what you guys have
It's wild.
come out with, like it's like that, like IQ, ALK, the new acidic growth. People have used it, have loved it already.
People are loving this.
Yeah,
and Blonde IQ, I mean, when I say I used to work for another color company, I worked for a color company that boasted a really amazing lightener. And when Blonde IQ came out, I was like, oh, this other lightener has nothing on it, because there's a big difference between lightening the hair and keeping it healthy and lightening the hair and then playing Russian roulette when I go to open that foil if the hair is going to come off the head. So they don't have to play that game anymore. It's like a safe lightener. It truly is.
Yeah, IQ is one of those lighteners that's going to change what other companies come out with next.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And to be fair, IQ is the second one because it was Blonde Studio 9.
They have an oil situation.
That has a similar oil situation.
Yes. And theirs is more moisturizing
Yeah.
and keeps the hair really soft. The oil that's designed in Redken, it really gets down to that cortex. And I always try to describe it as stylists. Like, if you think about other lighteners, they're constantly kicking at that door trying to come in, and they're causing that damage trying to break in.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time they get in there, it has thrashed the rest of the hair.
Mm-hmm.
But with Blonde IQ, it's like having a key. They go right on in. It works immediately. It's not thrashing the cuticle. It's not disrupting the moisture barrier. It's truly a more gentle lightener, but it's able to work very fast.
Yeah.
So that's what's so revolutionary about it. Yeah. That and the consistency. Like, stylists, like, you could tell them 5 million things. As long as it spreads nice, that's all they care about. As long as it's a nice consistency.
Yeah, people have loved it.
Oh, God, yeah. And it's wild. And especially on my blonding days where I teach, like, blonding classes, it's a lot easier to use because there's so many different ratios you can use, because sometimes we have to water down our lighteners to be healthier. But at a 1-to-3, Blonde IQ is still a good consistency that you can work with. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot gentler on the hair, and that's why stylists tend to stray away from that, adding more developer that can, you know, calm down your mixture, mm-hmm. because they can't use it. It's too liquidy.
Yeah.
So Blonde IQ, they're able to use it a little bit more seamlessly.
Yeah.
So
let's rewind now. Tell me about your background.
So I am a salon owner up in Springfield, Illinois. So I have booth runners, I have commission stylists, and as time has gone on, I'm kind of phasing out. I'm hoping that they'll all go to booth rent, and then I can just let them fly and do their thing.
Yeah.
But I used to work for Schwarzkopf back in the day. So I did used to work for Schwarzkopf, and I had to make a choice in my career where, you know, I couldn't get behind the education. So I had to take a step back, and I really focused on my salon. And then I had an opportunity with Redken. I just happened to see it. I applied for it, and same day call from my boss. And I was so excited to be with Redken.
About what year was this?
It was like 2 years ago.
2 years ago, okay.
And I was so excited. I've used Redken forever. Even when I worked for Schwarzkopf, I still used Redken behind the chair, which
it's a common story.
It's a common story. And ultimately, that's probably why I started to lean away, because I used Redken. Mm-hmm. It's what I used. And then they sent me off to the exchange, and that was wild. That training was wild. I have taught for Schwarzkopf. I know how to teach to hairstylists. I did not know how to teach in that capacity. You leave like a whole different stylist when you go off to artist training. It is wild. I'm sure Olivia felt the same when she went to L'Oreal. But now I do this full time. I'm still behind the chair on the weekends for the clients that don't drive me nuts. Those are the ones I still do the hair. But truly, I've taken such a giant step back from the salon because I really found a lot of passion in educating stylists, because I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be lost, burnt out, tired, you're ready to throw in the towel. So I love that when I go into salons, I can see that spark. And I'm like, this is what I wish I'd had 10 years ago when I started to feel burned out, especially after like the COVID phenomenon. No stylist was prepared for that. Like, I don't feel like we've ever recovered from that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Truly, like, we just mentally have never recovered.
Yeah. How long were you with Schwarzkopf?
I was there for 4 years.
Okay.
So
and you were educating with them.
I was educating. I was more up in the Chicago area. There really isn't a ton of Schwarzkopf in this area, but there are a few salons I go into, and I'll see like Blonde Me. And I'm like, let me let me change your life
There you
here.
go.
Let me
Yeah.
change your life. But it's nice because what we see on social media is they're the big man on campus now. They're kind of like our little high school bully. They're always in the comments. They're always right there. But I think I have a different perspective because I can tell you like, oh, this is what's different. I'm never going to knock Schwarzkopf. They are good for what they're good for. But I can give you a perspective of where maybe Redken might shine a little bit better.
Yeah.
And might help you a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you get so much more support from Redken. Don't get me wrong, like in Chicago, I was very supportive, but I was just in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like the rest of Illinois didn't get me. It was just Chicago.
Yeah.
So I always tell them like, would you rather have the pretty color or would you rather have the pretty color with support to teach you how to use this pretty color?
Yeah. And I know I'm like beating a dead horse, and that is why Redken deserves your money.
It does.
I mean, it just does. Like, there's not a company out there. I know I say this all the time. There's not a company out there that deserves your money more than they do. I don't what online things you can read. I am coming from a different point of view in this industry where I get to see the umbrella of all the salons, and I've see the longevity of time. So you talk about COVID. So I've seen what companies have done from that time going forward.
Right.
And especially from that time on, Redken shined. Before you was Jaden. In your position.
Right.
During COVID, Jaden would be on Zoom calls. I'd say, Jaden, let's do a Zoom call with some stylists and see who joins us. He didn't care if there was 1 people or 20 people there. He would get on that Zoom call and he would encourage them. And it's like, they are actively trying to help you through the unknown of life.
And it was so unknown. And it was so funny because Jaden was actually the educator for my salon. That's what was so funny. I was like, oh, the person who educated me, we now have his job. Yeah. But like I tried to explain to stylists during COVID, we just needed someone to talk to. Yeah. No one got it, what we were going through, like unless it was another stylist. No other stylist got it unless you were a stylist. Like regular people, like my husband didn't understand it. I'm like, we're around people every day. Our clients need us. They come to us for support. We have them bombarding us constantly. Like, come do some garage hair on the down low. Yeah. And it's like, no, don't get caught though. But it just was such a mentally exhausting thing. Like we never knew if we'd go back to the salon.
Yes.
So, and then Redken was there. Like, we're going to do these classes. We're going to do classes just for your mental health. Yeah. Like truly we don't have to talk about color. We'll just talk about how are you doing?
Yep.
And no other company did that. No one cared. Like, it's not that they didn't care. They just couldn't. Yeah. They couldn't do it. And Redken pooled a lot of resources so that they could. Yeah. And I want stylists to understand that. Like, if you need us, we're there. 100%. Yeah. We understand how hard this career can be. Yeah. We're not just doing hair. There's a lot that comes to this.
And people love Jaden, and I wanted to say people love you.
Oh, good.
But I want to say that for you. I mean, they do. I love the feedback I get from salons when you're in there. It's been amazing. But that's also not an accident. And it goes back to the training and everything else and picking the right people. And it's like, this is not just because, I've done this for decades now. And there's been some bad educators. They just weren't meant for the job. They tried it. Good for them for trying it, but they never connect with people, or they would get impatient. There's just been all kinds. You get all kinds of things. But when it came to you, Jaden, Tony, it's like they are so much better because they've been trained to be better and picked to be better.
Oh gosh, yeah. And obviously we talk about Redken history when I do every single class, and we were truly the brand that educated the stylist first. We take it so seriously. And if people saw what Redken artists and educators go through in that training, it's like, I will always say my boss tricked me because he's like, whenever you go, just raise your hand. I don't care what the question is. I'm like, okay. So here I am just raising my hand, and she's like, okay, go ahead and get on stage. First day, first hour. And I'm like, what? Okay. And she's like, we're going to do this. And I'm like, okay. And you're up there, but it's like there's like I think in my class there were 45 other artists that were training to be artists, and it's like they all are doing the same thing, and I'm up there like, oh my god, I've never shaken on stage in my entire life. Like I thought I knew what I was doing, and I did not. But I always tell people, like, you'll notice in my classes I never tell you no. It's never a no. It's just like reworking what you said, because it's defeating to be told no. People are not willing to ask questions if you're like, no. Incorrect. And I'm just like, well, you're not wrong. Like, I see where you're coming with that. And my salons always make fun of me for that. I'm like, it's because it's proven. Like, we scientifically have proven that makes you shut down in a class. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm glad that you answered. At least you had an answer. You didn't stare at me like a deer in headlights. So, but it is wild. I know Olivia got to experience that. It is a very You're so nervous that first day. You're like, I made a mistake. I have made a mistake. And by the end of it, you're so sad to leave.
Yeah.
Because you're just a whole changed person. It's wild what that training will do.
So you applied, got a call, and how soon did they send you to exchange?
Gosh, I think I applied in November. And the difference between artists and educators, I'm a corporate employee, whereas artists, you have to audition and do all the things. And I kind of did too. Like, they had me send in a video of me teaching about a balayage. And they sent me off, I think, in February. So I applied in November. I got sent off in February. And there was only one other Redken educator with me. And she's like my best friend at Redken now. Because we're like, stay together. Stay together here. Yeah. And we only were there for like 4 days, and by the end of it, like, you don't know these people, you don't know, they're across the country, and you are like crying by the end of the day because you're like so upset to leave. You've grown as people together, and we didn't even do anything crazy. It was just like how we set up a classroom. But it's wild how much goes into just setting up the standard for learning in our class. And it's just see, like, when you do Redken classes and you go to the Redken exchange and they explain to you why they do it, and you're like, oh, it all makes sense why you do it the way you do it. But it really truly was eye-opening how much Redken has put into their education, like down to the detail. Like, everybody always makes fun of the claps. Everybody is always making fun of the Redken claps. And I'm like, listen, if we all can be silly together, then there's no room for embarrassment. Let's just ask a question. We just did some claps together. We are now best friends. So let's just ask the questions. I will text you my phone. I will send you my phone number. You can always text me. The amount of salons that text me throughout the day is wild. But I want them to know, like, you're going to always get that support from me. I'm not trying to pull like the wool over your eyes here. I'm just trying to help you out. It doesn't mean you have to buy Redken. What it means is you now have the information to make the decision as a hairstylist. The information is there to you. But I mean, I work behind the chair. I know what it feels like. I'm not that educator that's coming in like I've never worked behind the chair. Like I've quit completely. Like, no, I'm still behind the chair. I understand, especially in small towns. And I think that's why I vibe really well with the Illinois side of things, because I'm from a small town. And I understand it's hard to price outside of small town pricing, but you won't survive. You won't survive. And I give them like that confidence. I'm like, you just have to find what works for you. You know, no, you can't charge what Chicago people charge. The cost of living is insane. And I'm not saying you can't. I say stand on all 10 toes and say this is your pricing. But if you don't feel like you need to go that extreme, if you don't feel like your clients are going to vibe with it, but you need to do pricing that makes sense for you.
That is one of the things that I've had conversations with, and usually it's like sweet stylists.
It's hard.
They get comfortable in the suite, and they don't realize they get disconnected from the business almost. And I've had them admit to me, like, I haven't been in education for so long. I haven't raised my prices. And they're in good areas. And I'm like, you should be raising your prices.
Of course.
So obviously, I really got on them during when inflation first hit. I was like, you guys who haven't raised your prices are about to lose so much money. But when you say you come into the salon and you know about burnout, you went through all this stuff. You can encourage them because you're behind the chair about their prices. It's not just me, because they get tired of hearing from me too.
Oh, trust me, we had a salesperson. I'm just like, when they would call me like, oh, Dana's here again, I'm like, go be nice to her. She's going to give you some inspiration. Go be nice to her.
Oh, when we know, like I know when I go into a salon, it's the greatest ones in the world that I've known forever, and we love each other. But sometimes I'm like, oh, they're not in the mood for this. I'm just gonna.
We've just gotten done with a color correction, Jason, and I am feral right now. Well, and I get that. And I always tell them, like, you have to invest in yourself. You are not mentally going to survive this. This job can just drain you some days. Like, you go from one client is pregnant, one client is going through a divorce, all while you're trying to do a highlight as they tell you how garbage their husband is. And it's mentally draining. And you have to invest in yourself. And I noticed there's a shift. Like, yes, commission salons are still a thing, but a lot more people are doing booth rent, and you're by yourself. You are doing this completely by yourself, and no one prepares you for that. Like, we don't take business education in hair school. Like, that's overwhelming of what you should price at. And the biggest wide-eye moment I get is when I tell people what Shades EQ, what Redken says it should be priced at just to break even is $45, just to break even. And they look at me and I'm like, you have to look at your time as well. It's not just the price of the product, it's your time. Like if it goes on dry hair 20 minutes and you're blow drying, that's like 45 minutes. Like that's why we tell you to price it at that, so it's worth it. So you don't put it on wet hair. But that's something we talk about in our classes. So, but that's really why we do it. It has to be worth it to you. That's why 50, 55, 60, whatever you're pricing, it has to get you something, some kind of profit.
Yeah.
Like that's why when they're always like, well, we see those outrageous prices that those influencers price. And I'm like, they're not just doing a highlight though. Like they're doing other things to the hair to get those tickets up. And it's not like you're selling your clients, it's not like you're a car salesman. They need it. Their hair, healthy hair is what's in. You can't just bleach the hair and just hope for the best here. Like we've got to do stuff with it, and it costs money. It costs money, Linda. You gotta give me that debit card. So, and that's why I try to encourage them. Like this is not early 2000s hair. Like when I started, this is not Kelly Clarkson hair. This is the standards changed. They care if their hair breaks off. Back in the day, we all looked like we stuck our fingers in light sockets. Like no one cared. So now they care. So you got to charge more for it.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between buying a Louis Vuitton bag and the bag at Walmart. Which one gonna last you longer? Which one's gonna serve you a little bit more? That Walmart bag gonna fall apart eventually. Louis Vuitton might last a little longer. Yeah. So you get what you pay for.
But they also have to be responsible for providing the service or what they're paid for.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Like just because times change and you're using whatever stuff doesn't mean that that's automatically what you charge. You should be charging that, but you also should be educated.
Absolutely. And that's why they don't feel comfortable in their pricing, because you don't have the confidence with what you're saying.
Yes.
Like you hear it on social media, but you've never put it into practice and or had the education to teach you how to put that into practice. And then you're like, oh, it's going to be $50. Like I don't know what's going to happen here.
No, it's so related. The education and the pricing, and again the burnout, probably right in the middle of that.
Yep.
It's all related.
And you get this jumbled mess, and this is why stylists quit.
Yeah.
This is why we saw such an obscene amount of stylists quit after COVID. Like that's why my salon opened, because the salon owner said, I'm done. Yeah. I cannot do this anymore because it was too much. It was too much. But now, I mean, we're years past this now. So the education's starting to recirculate. You know, Symposium is back in Vegas, as it should be.
Yes.
And we're going to it's a good place to get recharged.
Talk about Symposium.
Oh, everyone should go to Symposium. Everybody should go. It was in Nashville there for a minute. Meh. It wasn't my favorite. Yeah. But now, like, the big thing we heard about Symposium was the classroom setting was not for everybody. Like, you know, you felt like you were missing things. So you just sit your butt down in a seat and it's all on stage. You know, it's Sam Via's last show, like with Redken, because he's going to go off and do his own thing. So for the Sam Via lovers, this is like your last time. Go see him. Yeah. And I just think it's such a good place. We already, I think, have 3,000 to 4,000 people already going, 5,000 people. That is so many stylists in one place.
It's so fun. It's
such a good place to recharge, complain about the things we all complain about, you know, get educated together, bounce ideas off of each other, you know, and it's in Vegas. What better place to have a hair show for crazy stylists than Vegas? Yes. So it's a wonderful thing. And I took my first Symposium show, I think when I was 19. So, I mean, that was years ago for me. And I never felt so inspired as a hairstylist. Like I didn't know anything at the time, but I felt leaving like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Yes. And here I am as a Redken educator years later and working with the people who educated me at Symposium. And it's such a weird experience, but I mean, they grew me into the stylist I am today. And it's all started from that one Symposium. And the same with the exchange. Like, I don't think enough people know the same place where I went and got trained is the same place you can take classes. And that is an experience like no other at the exchange. Like that, you will leave so inspired, so many ideas. It's hands-on. You're talking to these educators. Like, this is the people who trained me. Like, these are people who have been in the business. They know their stuff. And it's 3 days in New York. A lot of these are 3 days classes. Like, what better place than New York City? Yeah. The exchange is a wild experience. So I encourage stylists. Like, yes, I can educate you. Yes, I give you a taste of education. If you want that in-depth, hands-on experience, go to the exchange. I mean, your class will be from 9 to 5. It's an all day thing. And these are the best of the best.
Yeah.
So who better to ask than the best of the best?
Yep.
And they're so relatable. They don't act like they're the best of the best, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
The getting back to Symposium, if you are a young stylist, it's got to be go. It's got to be you have to make a way to go. Like,
Just go.
don't not do. These are the things. This is where I say, like, Discover Show not having Discover Show hurts us, because a lot of these young stylists have never had any of those experiences.
No.
None. And I'm like, so it's hard for me to get them to understand, like, you need to go to Vegas. And to them, they're like, I don't even know what.
Like, why?
It's why.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't explain to you what it's like to be in a group of people who are all there for the same reason. It's fun, it's education, and like you said, it recharges your hairstylist soul. Like
it does. And they've never experienced that.
Yes.
They've never experienced the recharge.
Mm-mm.
And it's so hard for us veteran stylists to explain it to them, because they
Yes.
truly didn't have it
No.
when they came out of hair school. And I think they always think like, oh, it's so out of my reach. It's so expensive. And, Redken, back to when Redken gives back, I know that I had texted you and all the salespeople just recently. They gave us a discount code just for the REs. This is just for people in our area, because we acknowledge there's a lot of people that use Redken here. That's why we're put here. Yeah. And so, you get $100 off your ticket. If it helps with the affordability, they've done room blocks so that there's discounts with hotel rooms. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to experience this. And no other company is going to do that.
No.
They're just like, oh, here, buy your ticket. Thousands of dollars. Here's what it is.
Yeah.
We are doing everything we can to make sure that you can make it there.
Yeah.
And I tell stylists, like, it's as simple as like, having a jar set up and doing like add-ons treatments. Like, in my salon, we did like the Shine Bomb with the acidic color gloss and the clear shades EQ. And we charged it at $40. All that $40 went into the jar. And that paid for their tickets to Symposium. Yeah. And other salons were adopting that. I'm like, it adds up so quick. And there you go. There's your ticket.
Yeah.
Go do your thing.
If you're a young stylist and you're serious about the business, the goal, Symposium, and then you're serious about your education in the business, exchange.
Yeah. Like, you get as much as you're willing to put in.
Yeah. And
if you put nothing in, you're not going to get anything. All you're going to get is headache and burnout, and that's it. And you're going to hate this job. And this is one of the most fun jobs. Like, you get to talk and all day and do hair, and it's supposed to be a fun job.
It reminds me a little bit. My stepson plays hockey, and he wasn't a big sports kid. And we're just trying to find something for him to do.
Right.
And he joined a little late, right? But like, outside of like just the athletic physical experience, what that has done for him, like socially, to be able to meet friends and be encouraged, that's what it reminds me of. That's what like is lost that we used to have. And that's what Symposium being in Vegas to me is still.
Yes.
Where it's like, you go there, you don't understand that, like, when you go there, it does something to you. It like upgrades your social skills, your encouragement, your communication, the shell that you don't even know is like kind of wrapping around you and squeezing you.
Yeah.
I mean, life is hard. Life from COVID on has been so difficult for everyone.
Yes.
And I feel like the younger stylists just took it on because they didn't know any better. Like, I don't know, this is just life. And it's like, no, this isn't it. There's things out there that will help you experience, like you said, it's fun. It is so fun. I went to California with Matrix. I had the time of my life.
And it's like, we're not sending you off here to be bored to tears.
Yes.
You're going to have a good, I promise you're going to have a good time.
I literally lost 5 pounds in California with Matrix because we danced so much.
Oh, yes. We had a block party with the Redken educators at one of our trainings. And I have never danced so hard.
Oh, it's so fun.
Like, wherever those videos are of me dancing, I don't know who that person is. But I'm like,
YouTube.
Listen,
put them up.
It's somewhere. Someone has them. But I tell them all the time, like, this is your chance to grow as a person.
Yes.
No one understands what we go through better than other stylists.
Yep.
You can't explain this to other people. And truly, you need to grow as a stylist. Mm-hmm. You have to grow as a person. It's almost like when you're growing as a child. Like, now you're an adult. You're now in the scary hair world, and you need to go grow in the hair world.
Yes.
And like, I was 19. I was 19 years old. I went by myself, and I was amazing. The shyest, like, scared little hairstylist. Like, I was like, no one talk to me. No one talk to me. And by the end of it, I left with lifelong friendships. Like, you just need it, especially in small towns. We get in our small town bubbles and we forget that there's a whole nother world out there. And it's nice to hear, like, oh, what are West Coast stylists doing? What are East Coast stylists doing? Like, here's what I do in the Midwest. Like, it's just nice to, here's what I do. Here's some ideas. It's just so good for you as a stylist. It really is. Get out of the salon. Get out. Disconnect. Disconnect from everything you're stressed about, because I guarantee everybody in there is stressed about the same things, and just have a good time. Yes. This is for stylists. This is for you to disconnect, grow your career, have a good time, take a break. You need that break. You have to have it. It's not good for you to never take a break.
Well, you mentioned this earlier about that. You'll go from someone's getting a divorce to someone's having a baby. Like my wife, she's a hairstylist,
so she knows.
So last week, she dealt with someone whose son died in a tragic accident, and she's known this. She's done her hair forever, so
oh God, yeah.
She got the raw reaction.
Oh, tears, the mental breakdown.
The next client was someone who was having her first grandchild, and I'm like that. And I talked to another hairstylist who went through the same thing in the same week, was telling me a similar story, and I'm like, the amount of emotional swings you guys carry the burden for with people, and have to keep it together in the right manner for every new stylist and new story that comes in. That is the reason why you have to step away from the salon.
You have to
have that recharge.
You have to. And I told my husband way back when the restrictions lifted, because Illinois, I feel like we restricted really late. Like we were in the house, we were ready to go, we were ready to do hair. And one of my clients who was terrified, she was absolutely terrified of COVID. She had a baby during COVID, and obviously she saw no one. I would see her every 6 weeks in the salon before COVID. And when she came in, the dumping of emotions that happened, like, it was in that moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am the only person she sees right now. And she is so alone. She's going through postpartum, and she is, all of this burden is now put on you, like, as the stylist, and you're like, I'm just here to do highlights. But you're encouraging it, and then you might be going something in your life. And hairstylists have to wear, like, so many faces. Like, clients don't come in to listen to how your husband ticked you off that day. They want to talk about how their husband ticked them off that day. And you could be going through a lot, and you have to kind of internalize that and perform for them and make them feel good, not only with their hair, but emotionally. And that is draining. And no one prepares you for that in hair school. No one talks about it. And that is why there was that point in Redken where they really focused on mental health, because we can acknowledge that it's hard. This is hard, and you need that break.
And it's not normal times anymore. Where before, I would say, COVID is like the line of demarcation. After COVID, life has been haywire every year.
Wild.
Whether it's global politics, local politics, like
everybody's got an opinion on everything.
It's what's going on in social media has ruined people. Like, it's just, we are in such odd, difficult times. That's like, you gotta have, like, you listen, guys, if you're a young stylist, whether you realize it or not, you need to step out. You need someone to come in. You don't realize you need it because you're young and you think this is normal,
right?
But you need it. And one day your 20-something life is going to be a 30-something life, and you're going to be one with clients who have a divorce or a death, and then have to do it's going to get you're going to feel the drain. And if you don't know how to deal with the drain, if you haven't properly take care of yourself, that drain affects your family.
And one of the biggest things I can say with when we did our training as Redken artists and educators, there's a lot put on us as well, because now we have hairstylists. Not only do I have my clients, but I also have hairstylists that are relying on me, who reach out and all of that. But one of the biggest things, one of the big, like, trainers, her name is Mandy. She's like, you need to have personal grounding. You need to do what fills up your cup as well, because if you don't, your grounding, it gets shaky and you fall apart, and everything starts to fall apart. You have to stabilize yourself, and Symposium is a great way to do that. It's a great way to be with people who understand what you're going through. Like, your wife is a hairstylist. Obviously my husband has to deal with a hairstylist as well, and he's like, I can't relate to this. He's like, I don't know how to help you through this, because I don't experience this in my office job. Whereas when you're with other stylists, they're like, girl, I understand. My guy, I understand. I get it. You just get a minute just to get it all out.
Yeah.
But also take it all in. You give and you get. So it's a perfect place to do that. It really is.
Covered.
But the most eye-opening thing to me was when a stylist told me I was so afraid to take education because I was afraid you would think I was stupid. And I'm like, absolutely not. There is so much information that we have to remember, and we have to talk to our guest while we are mixing up color, and she's in your ear while you're trying to figure out the formula of her nasty orange hair. And it's not being a stupid stylist. It's just so much information that you just need a refresher on. So you gave me the wrong answer. I have stood 10 toes down on stage and added something completely wrong or spelled something wrong on stage, and I hear the uproar of giggles behind me, and I'm like, listen, we do our best. That's all I ask, that you do your best. Try to dig in your brain and just try to remember what we were taught. And if you don't remember, okay, what's I'm here for? It's what I'm here for. Yeah. You're not a stupid stylist just because you don't remember what acidic and alkaline means. Yeah. It's just a matter of, it. It's just so buried deep beneath all of the social media stuff, all of the constant influencer garbage we're getting. If you just don't know what to believe anymore. And it's like, I'm here to help you.
And there's certain things that trend, and then just like anything in life, it becomes like wallpaper. We forget, and then we just need to be reminded every once in a while.
And that's okay.
Someone was talking about using, I think it was Shades of Hue Clear, just as a nice gloss.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can remember that was a thing about 20 years ago that they were really pushing that. Finish with the EQ gloss, and it just got forgotten. And so we need to remind it. That's a perfect example.
Yes.
You know that, but there's so much that like you said, you got this library of information, and sometimes we just need to break out one of those old books and remind ourselves, oh yeah, that's what I should do there.
Well, and that's like the controversy of the wet versus dry, like when Shades of Q, how it should be put on the hair. And they're like, well, I see social media, and I'm like, listen, good for them. If it works for them, it works for them. I will never knock anything. But what I will say is it a chemical? And they'll look at me, I'm like, do you really want to be putting a chemical on wet hair? Is that really what you want to do there? And they're like, oh, I'm like, it's things we know. You just have to be reminded. It's in there. It's just like, you need almost the validation that you knew it was correct to put it on dry hair. And then you need the validation for me to be like, okay, I was right. Social media is not right. Like, sometimes you just need that. Yeah. Like, you do what you want. I always tell stylists, like, the whole controversy with dry versus wet, you can throw everything I say out the window when I leave here. But you have to remember, if something's going wrong, you now know why.
Yes.
So if it happens, you now know how to correct it. You're not a bad stylist. It's not the client's fault. It's just a simple matter of put it on dryer. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, well, then that's your problem. And they do. Moon Salon, I will say, is probably the best one. I don't know if it's just for formulation days, but every time it's on dry hair, I'm like, look at you all. What happens when I'm not here? I want to know.
The principal's here.
We always be good. I always notice that. It cracks me up.
Okay, what haven't we covered? We covered Symposium.
Yes, absolutely. Go.
Yeah, go to Exchange, you being in salons. Let's talk product.
Let's talk about it. So where do you want to start?
Let's start with the newest. Talk to me about acidic growful.
Okay, so there's a lot of grow lines. There are so many options. But, of course, it's acidic. Redken preaches it. So with that, a lot of scalp treatments, they just focus here. And that's great. That's where your hair grows from. But what about the hair that's already grown in like garbage? So with acidic, what I try to explain to stylists is, if you take a piece of Velcro and you stick it on a wool sweater and you pull it away, it snags. That's what happens to your hair when the cuticle is open. And I can speak for every stylist out there. We have all seen how our clients brush their hair. They are feral when they brush their hair, and when they rip through it, it's all snagged together. It is going to break. If it was already fine to begin with, brittle to begin with, it is going to snap. And if this so happens to be the client that you color her hair, it's now your fault in their eyes. So what this does is it closes the cuticle, but the azelaic acid in it also strengthens the hair itself so that when they do rip through their hair, it can handle it. But with that being said, everything comes from your scalp. Everything comes from your scalp. And if the follicle is not kept in good condition, it'll actually shrink. And that's how the hair starts to come out fine. If it is under stress, it cannot produce the keratin. It can't produce protein. So it comes out already brittle, already fine. The cuticle's popped open already when it's growing out. It can't get far away from the scalp before it breaks off. And it naturally, the hair lets go of it because it's damaged. It goes into a rest stage and it's already damaged. And that's where the thinning starts to happen. I never want people to misunderstand. This is not like the miracle grow serums that you see like people trying to sell. This is not going to like grow new hair. That is a medical problem. That I cannot stress that enough to stylists. Never claim that this is going to grow new hair, because then clients are going to get discouraged and they'll never buy anything from you ever again. That's a medical thing. We send them to doctors. That's their problem. What this does is it keeps the scalp in good condition. Like, we have people that are now coming with GLP shots, and yes, those are fabulous. My clients' lives have been changed by it, but now it's becoming our problem because their hair, stylists know it is the weirdest thing that happens to the hair. It's like beautiful, luscious hair all of a sudden becomes brittle, and it's snapping and it's breaking and it's thinning. It's almost coming out of the scalp like in these little wisps. She didn't lose hair. It's just like this very thin, it's wild. It just comes out damaged. So what this does...
It's interesting because I haven't heard that. And I'm assuming a lot of people are going to start seeing that, and they're not going to be prepared for what is happening.
They're not. And clients are upset. They lose all this weight just to have their hair look like garbage. And as stylists, we kind of scratch our head, and then clients look to us. I mean, we can go see your doctor. There's not really much doctors can do. It's just the hair is damaged now. Doctors can't fix the hair what's grown out. They can fix internally what might be going on, but we can directly fix the scalp. So what this does is it moisturizes the scalp. It strengthens the follicle. The caffeine in it helps stimulate that follicle so that the hair will start growing faster, so that she can start to see the hair is still growing from the follicle. That follicle has not died. It just needs to start recharging and get moving. But when you take things like GLP shots, medications, pregnancy, men don't always take care of their scalp. They're wash and go kind of guys. And ultimately your scalp gets unbalanced. The follicle starts to become damaged. It starts to become inflamed. It starts to produce this fine brittle hair. And over time, if it's left like that, it dies. And that's where baldness happens. So this helps prevent that by making sure that follicle is strong. It's put into hyperdrive, so it's growing that hair as fast as it can so they can start to see that growth. But it's also got the probiotics in it that help keep the microbiome healthy, because what we tend to do is when we have dandruff and irritation, we'll use these intense washes that strip everything from the scalp, which is not good for it either. So this system, especially the serum, it's so revolutionary because with these kind of serums, if you have fine hair, you don't have volume. And that's the whole point. They want volume. Those serums weigh the hair down. Ours actually boosts it so that they're not losing the volume. They don't feel like a greasy mess, but the scalp is able to have that azelaic acid sit on it and work for a long period of time. They're not just getting the dose from the shampoo and conditioner that wash away. This can sit on the scalp and work all day and get down in there and do what it needs to do in a longer period of time, but without weighing the hair down. The densifying spray, that's where you get it. That's where clients are buying it off the shelves. Like, yes, this heals the scalp over time. That's great. Clients want to see something though. They don't want to just be like, oh, it looks a little fuller. The densifying spray is actually what plumps up that hair. That is what's going to make it not be able to see the scalp. That's where they're going to see that beautiful, full, luscious hair and instantly see a result, which will encourage them to continue to use this, where over time it helps their scalp. Because if clients get discouraged, they won't use it. They will not use it. So I cannot encourage stylists enough. This must be sold as a system. It has to. Yeah, you might get something from this. Yeah, you could get something from this. All together, they're going to see a difference. The densifying spray is what's going to keep them using it. The densifying spray, as stylists have already pointed out to me, with densifying sprays, they feel gross. They feel like hairsprays in your hair because it's polymers. Ours does not do that. It feels soft. The hair feels moisturized. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel stiff. And clients hate that. They can't run their hands through it. They know there's something in their hair. It's like those dusted powders, all of that. This, it feels like their hair. It feels like their hair. They don't feel like there's a ton of junk caked on. But all of the products, even the densifying spray, has azelaic acid in it. It is going to strengthen the hair. It's not just there for cosmetic reasons. It's going to actually heal the hair as well. So yes, this system is great for thickening hair. It's great for keeping the scalp healthy. I just want stylists to understand, don't sell it for something it's not, because then clients will never buy ever again from you.
Yeah.
Ever again. So
that was extremely important information.
good. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's hard to wrap your head around it sometimes because we're so focused on color and styling the hair. Sometimes we forget that scalp, if it gets out of whack, the hair's going to start falling out. And I want stylists to understand, if you see a client's scalp that is shiny, men or women, the scalp is unhealthy. It should never be shiny like that. If it is shiny, the acid mantle is destroyed, the pH balance is awful, you've got to give this to them. Otherwise, they are going to start to see their hair falling out. And we see it. I mean, when we're doing hair, we can see sometimes when we get done with color, the scalp is shiny. So
again, crazy good information. Also, I want to point out the consultation with the shots, with the weight loss shots. That needs to be a part of people's consultation, especially if they notice something weird going on. Are you taking any kind of weight loss shots? Like, I know that's a new thing, but it is a new thing. Like,
it is.
And there's going to be side effects that's going to affect you as a hairstylist. You need to know that information. You need to know to ask. First of all, you need to know to ask that information.
Oh, absolutely.
But then knowing what you just told me is amazing. This is slow, but the densifying spray is quick. Like that two information right there from a sales perspective.
Oh yeah.
And the hairstylist who's talking about it, if you miss that information, then it's probably not. They're gonna think that's not working because they think everything should work now.
Yep.
But if you tell them this is going to work right now, but this is going to save your hair in the long run, you got to keep using this. This will just sustain you. This is going to rebuild you, kind of thing.
And it's the biggest thing, because clients like to push, like, well, I'll just take this. I don't need the whole system. Like, here's how the system works as a whole. Yes, the densifying spray is great. It does have the same properties, but the system as a whole is going to give you the full dose that you need. It's like when you have an infection, you can't just take your antibiotic one time and hope that it does something. You've got to take it over time.
Yes.
So you want to get ahead of the problem before it becomes too big of a problem where you can't fix it. Mm-hmm. So if they're pregnant, we all know they're going to have postpartum hair loss. And the reason that postpartum hair loss becomes a problem in the long run is because the scalp, everything gets out of whack, everything gets crazy with the hormone change. And then women are too busy and we don't take care of ourselves, and the hair stays that way because the follicle dies. Mm-hmm. So get ahead of it when your client's pregnant, like, hey, I know you've said, because they're going to, you're worried about that hair loss. Here's a product that can help to make sure that hair loss is not permanent. So get ahead of it.
That's amazing.
Just like your clients, sometimes they don't know they're going to have a problem. Gotta let them know.
It's such an important part of our emotional makeup to our hair.
It is.
Like, if you can step in, if you're aware of that and you can step in, you can really be a hero to someone, because that really messes with people.
Oh yeah, especially like my men clients. Like, I have a lot of barbers in my salon. They get so upset when their hair starts to fall out. If you see it, I'm a firm believer in don't let your clients live in a fantasy world. Mm-hmm. Let them know your hair is thinning. You need to start using something to help this. Otherwise, this could be permanent. Yeah. And when I teach consultation classes, they're like, oh no, I can't tell my clients that. I'm like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. They know their hair is thinning too. They're eventually going to figure it out. Do you want them to know when it's too late? Or do you want them to know when we could maybe get ahead of it? Mm-hmm. Like, you're a hero to them then. Mm-hmm. And it's not selling them a product. You're not a car salesman. It's not like, oh, here, buy this amazing product. Yes, it's amazing. It's a solution to the problem. It's just you have to talk to your clients. You have to. And I think it's hard for young stylists because we're so nervous when we first come out of school. And it's like, it's the same information we all have to know. Just ask them. The worst they can tell you is, I don't want to tell you. Okay, well then you can live with the consequences of that. Yeah. So we've discussed it. Live with the consequences then. Yeah. So
I love doing this because it helps me. And I know that this is information they need to hear, the stylists need to hear.
Oh gosh,
they get so much product and so much, now there's so much advertising and product.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But why? What makes this? How do you use this? Is there anything specific? If it's a hairspray, most of the time it's a hairspray.
Right.
Stuff like that. But when you get something like this, I know the information is going to be missed. I'm going to miss the information. I need to sit down with you and say, hey, tell me about this.
Yeah.
You know, this is amazing information.
Well,
also, the scalp being shiny, that's great information.
Someone taught me that at the exchange, and I was like, I did not know that. I did not know that at all. And so there's even stuff that I learned. I try to get as much information when these products come out. I ask all the stupid questions so that I have all the information for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's truly why I do all that. But I mean, this is hard. I couldn't imagine being a sales rep because you have so many lines you have to keep track of. I just have to keep track of one.
I get people who send me stuff that's coming out before I even know it's coming out because of Instagram and stuff like that. And it's like, I will look at a deal sheet at the beginning of the month and I'll see what's new. And it's like every month there's almost 5 or 6 new products coming out. It's just too much all the time.
It is.
It's going to get lost.
And it's like, when you see it, you're like, I don't know what this does, but it says to spray on the hair. So we're just going to go do it. And gosh darn it, if we do it wrong, God only knows what's going to happen to the hair.
Yeah.
So it's just so hard to keep track of everything. And that's why I tell stylists, like, you've got to talk to your sales reps. You've got to talk to your educators, because if you don't know,
I know they don't want to sometimes.
Your salon should know that you are an advocate for those salons. Anytime I reach out to you and I'm like, where do you want to send me, Jason? Where do I need to go? And you'll send me a whole list.
Yeah.
A whole list of going. So gosh darn it. Like, I hope those salons understand not all sales reps are like that. They are not all like that. They do not. I don't know. Figure it out. Figure out wherever you need to go.
Well, I think that it goes, the frustrating thing, it goes back to, like I say, about Redken offering such great free education is that it's like I'm not trying to pull something here. I want you guys to succeed. It helps all of us that you're succeeding. I just want you to be great at what you're doing and love what you're doing, because I know what the other side of that is, not loving what you do.
Right.
Not raising your prices. And I know, because I've been doing it so long, that eventually is going to cause you to want to quit.
Yeah. And then what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Like, you're so conditioned. Like, when you leave hairstyling, I want to know what those hairstylists do. Like, I would never be able to work in an office. I couldn't function as a normal person in society. Yeah. I'm a hairstylist.
And if you're just not wired for it and you get out, then you're fine. But the people who are really wired for it, but they get out because it's sad, because it boils down to, again, education, community, talking to people, like getting yourself in the right position where you feel inspired, get your prices right. I mean, I can remember at inflation, the amount of conversations that I was having, very blunt conversations with people who refused to raise their prices for so long, telling me how burned out they were. And I said, when was the last time you raised your prices? It's been years. I go, you're not burned out about being a hairstylist. You're burned out about not making any money being a hairstylist.
You're struggling.
And that's a difference.
Yeah.
Anybody who's at a job where they're not making money is going to be burned out about not making money at that job.
Yeah. Like, what if you never get that promotion?
Right.
And you've been in that position for 10 years. You eventually, like, well, why am I here?
Why am I doing this?
And that's like, I went into a salon and they were so burnt out. They were in that stagnant of like, I'm just here to come do hair and then I go home and that's it. And I finally told them, like, you do that. You continue to do that for years. And then one day you look up and you look around your salon and you're like, I hate this.
Yes.
And you're like, how in the hell did I get here? And then they looked at me and they're like, that's where we're at right now. And I'm like, you've got to change this. And they just had this little light bulb moment. I'm like, it doesn't need to be like this. Yeah. I know anybody who's watching this podcast who's a hairstylist is going to know this feeling of that 8 p.m. text of, I hate my hair. My hair is falling out. And it's this gut-wrenching feeling of like, oh my God, what did I do? When in reality, 9, 10 times, it's the client's fault. They didn't use what you recommended, or we didn't push it hard enough. And this client isn't even paying the price they should be paying for this. And you're just like, oh my God, I'm going to have to deal with this later. And I don't want to. Yeah. And it's just this gut-curdling feeling. I'm sure your wife has had it. And then being her husband, I'm sure you deal with the same thing my husband has to deal with. He's like, oh God, just get away from her. The text has come through.
Oh,
get away from her.
Yeah, I've told numerous stylists. They tell me about clients, and I'm like, why are you doing this?
What are you doing?
She's a bad client.
Get rid of her.
Yeah.
Get rid of her. No is a complete sentence. You have the right as a stylist to say no.
Yeah.
Like, if that red flag is there, don't do it. And I tell people all the time, like, I have been bashed on social media. One of my stylists was bashed. We had a whole thing happen where she was almost canceled. She was a 21-year-old stylist. And all that happened was the client was washing her hair with Pantene and the hair was starting to fall out. It was just breaking. And she blamed the stylist. And so we had to go back through and find the after photos. And so this is not how your hair was when you left. It was healthy. This is your fault. But the fact that I have to battle with a client online, I'm like, I looked at the stylist, I'm like, you need to fire her. Like, she's like, well, I'm going to take her back because she apologized. No, she was willing to ruin your career.
Yep.
Because she used Pantene. And I guarantee it's going to happen again.
Well, and the other thing is she did hurt your career.
Yeah.
Because, people saw part of that and then moved on.
Yeah.
And then they'll remember, oh, that was that stylist that
and you have
didn't
to
see the full story. So you have to go explain your full story, but you're still going to take a negative hit from that.
And why should you? You spent 6 hours on this woman's hair. You've put your time into this, and now you have to go on social media and defend yourself from her crazy behavior, all because she wanted to save a buck? Absolutely not. Absolutely. You need to fire her. Why? How is that serving you? And she's like, well, what if I don't get another stylist or another client? I'm like, there's always a client who is going to replace that bad client.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to go out and advocate for yourself. If you don't post it on social media, it doesn't exist. Post all your work.
Yep.
Get the client that you want in your chair. If you don't want to do men's haircuts, don't post men's haircuts. Like, I personally do not. Men are the pickiest clients I've ever had in my chair, and I can't handle it anymore. So you go to the barber side now.
Oh, you sound like my wife with me.
Oh, it's the worst. Nothing is worse than when the husband texts you, "Can I get my hair cut tonight?" And instant rage.
Yeah.
You're instantly angry. Cut that hair.
Men. There's two. There's the men that don't care at all about their hair.
Nope.
But the ones who do, they are finicky about their hair.
Oh yeah, and my husband wasn't. He used to get his fade and all that, and then when I moved in with him, he had that 3-in-1 shampoo. I'm like, what is this? This is red flag. So I gave him his shampoo and conditioner, and he's like, I just want my hair to be soft. It has to be styled. And so I'm like, what happened to you? What happened?
Oh, that's funny.
Now he's pickier than any client I could ever have. But truly, I just tell clients, like, our stylists, fire them.
Yeah.
Fire them. Like, get rid of them.
The thing that came to mind from everything we talk about, I feel like we're like making a encouraging push for stylists to go to the next level.
Yes.
Like there is another level, and it's not only just a level of being more professional or making more money, but it's a level of enjoyment of being a hairstylist.
Yeah.
Like there's another level for everyone to go to. We can take that back. Whatever was lost for maybe some who are burned out and whatever, we can regain that ground.
Yes.
And we have the tools to do it. We can't make them do that. But our encouragement is, hey, let's level up.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's gonna be more fun for everyone. It's time.
Let's get you to the level of success what looks like for you.
Yeah.
Not everybody's level of success is the same, but let's get you to where you want to be.
But joy is success for everyone.
Joy is always a success. You chose this career.
Yeah.
Choose a joyful career.
Yeah.
Like don't sink in this.
Yeah.
Like
And I think, like I said, it hasn't clicked with a lot of people that being a partner with a brand like Redken is a source that can help that joy level of what you're doing.
We have a whole business forum at Symposium to teach you the tools so that, because hairstylists, we don't care about the business. We just want to make pretty hair. That's when we got into it. And then we realized there's a whole other side of this.
Yeah.
A whole other scary side of this. We have a business forum. There is business classes to teach you so that you don't have to stress about this part. Like, this is how you make money in the career. Go enjoy the part that you actually got into was to do the fun hair.
Yep.
How do you talk to your clients? Like that consultation class that I teach in salon. Oh my gosh. Like I have so many veterans that will roll their eyes at me like, I know how to do a consultation. I'm like, but do you though? But do you though?
You know how to do it so well, you're not doing it.
Yeah, at all. And then they'll look at me at the end. They're like, I didn't realize all. I'm like, there's such missed opportunity in a consultation. There's the missed opportunity of we missed it and the hair melted off, or we missed what our clients say where we can now make a recommendation that's going to serve them, but also put more money in your pocket. That's your pay raise right there. That's like your bonus. Like, yeah, give yourself the raise that you desperately need. When you sell them those products, that's your bonus. It's a bonus of you made money, but also when they come back in, you are not going to play the game of can their hair handle another service? Because they're using garbage products on their hair.
Yeah.
So it serves you as well. Like, we get screwed both times around when they choose products that aren't good for their hair. We don't get the money. And then when we tell them that we're, like, if we're doing a blonding session, like we're over time going to make her blonde, that time she comes in, her hair could be so damaged because she's not taking care of it. She can't do it anymore. So now we got screwed on both ends. We're going to get yelled at and we didn't get any money. So it's a whole thing. Like, tell them what they need.
Yes.
Have a conversation with your guests. If they don't want it, the worst thing you can do is say no, but explain to them what happens when they say no.
Yes.
Just explain it to them. And then they can make that adult decision. And when they make the wrong decision, you can have an I told you so moment. It's the best thing ever.
Have a card made you hand to them.
I told you.
Don't even have to say it. Just slide over.
Here you go. You're welcome.
All right, back to products. We covered acidic growth. Do you want to talk more about IQ, or are you good with that?
The only thing I want people to understand with IQ is that truly the biggest complaint I'm hearing is that it goes so fast and it's scaring stylists a little bit, especially those younger stylists. What I want them to understand is they have been so conditioned by strong lighteners that the minute we see white, the hair is going to break off. This lightener is designed to break pigment down to the molecular level so that it looks like a cleaner lift. So when you open that, it's okay. You have wiggle room. It's not going to just fry off. We're so conditioned when we see that the hair's fried. It's not. It is not fried. It's okay. But to put people's mind at ease, 10 volume will be coming out. There is going to be a 10 volume. When we first came out with Blonde IQ, it was meant to be a fast lightener because what's the point of getting fast with your foils if what's in the foil is not fast? So we also can acknowledge, though, there are some things that you just can't go fast with. Like if you were foiling my hair, you're not going to be able to move fast. It's just not possible. So you might need 10 volume. So we are going to come out with that. So anybody who's been like hesitant with Blonde IQ because it doesn't have a 10 volume, it is going to come out. So just to put their mind at ease with that.
Okay.
So
Cool. ALK.
ALK. Oh my goodness. So the big thing between Shades EQ and ALK is that ALK is alkaline. Now with Shades EQ, it closes down the cuticle. The problem we were running into with Shades EQ is the big complaint was it's not enough. When you look at Shades EQ, it's made up of direct and oxidative dyes. Direct dyes live out on the surface. Oxidative dyes goes in. Not everything's going into the hair. It's also acidic. The cuticle's closing. It can't get in very far. So we guaranteed up to 6 weeks, but it's more of a translucent result. That's the point. You can see the natural hair through it. It looks the most natural. It's a little bit more forgiving, but we can acknowledge you need more. The problem was people were reaching into permanent color, and every salon I've gone into, I asked the same question, like, how many of us do that? How many of us low light with permanent? How many of us color with permanent all the way through the ends? And it's like that scared little hand that goes up. The problem with permanent is that it goes so far inside the cortex, it's got to really pop open that cuticle, which causes a good amount of damage. Yes, Redken color is super healthy. It takes care of the hair, but we always have to pop it. We got to pop the cuticle. If you leave that cuticle open, that color's not going to hold. It's going to get tangled and break. The problem with Illinois that some areas might not have to deal with is hard water. If you leave that cuticle wide open, that hard water gets down into the hair. And every hairstylist knows what that feels like when we've got to lighten that out. We could have chemical reactions. The hair is just not in good condition when you pull permanent color through, but you need more color. So we gave you ALK. With a demi-permanent, it's alkaline. So it's also going to pop open the cuticle, but it's just going to kind of do one of those. Just barely pop it, just so the color can get down further. And it is 100% oxidative dyes. Everything goes into the hair. So you're getting way more color payoff. The difference is permanent color is not believable. People who use permanent color on their gray, it looks like you colored your hair because you can't see the hair. It's just color. Whereas with ALK, it's a little bit more believable. It's that happy medium between really sheer like Shades EQ and really saturated like permanent. It's more believable. It looks natural. The way I describe it to hairstylists is imagine looking through a tinted window. That's Shades EQ gloss. Now, take that tinted window and frost it. I can still kind of see. There's some shadows out there, but I can still see. It still looks like I still can see the natural. Permanent color is like we just boarded up the window. You ain't seeing nothing. So when it comes to the permanent hair color, or the gray coverage situation, people are liking this so much because it doesn't look like they color their hair. It's not that harsh line of regrowth. It's softer. Clients are loving it. And I actually tested on my biggest critic, my mother-in-law. We always got to test things on her. She is a saturated, covered person. She has got the most stubborn gray I've ever seen in the front of her hair. And I always get a text from her. Oh, it's already growing out. It's fading. I'm like, it's not fading. Your hair is growing. That's what's happening. But we tried this on her, and she actually felt like it stayed longer because she wasn't seeing that harsh line as much.
Okay.
The gray was still growing the same, but it was more diffused where she was like, there's the white, there's the color. I can instantly see it's growing out. Whereas this, it looked more highlighty almost. And she felt like it lasted longer. And that's great for those guests who, they're not coming in every 4 weeks. They're just not. So this is actually lasts up to 8 weeks versus 6 weeks. So 2 more weeks, which is what most standard color is. And then with that gray coverage, this uses 10 volume, 1 to 1.5 ratio. And I've already heard it. Of course it is. Of course it's a 1 to 1.5. We now have to do a math equation in the back room. I've already heard it. But what I want salon owners and booth runners to understand, your biggest complaint in the hair industry is that color is too expensive. It's too expensive. And at a 1 to 1.5 ratio, you're able to stretch that color longer. You're able to use more developer. This stretches a little longer. We can't change the prices. We can only make them so cheap. But we can give you a product where it's a little bit more watered down. Going to work still amazing, but it saves you some costs there. And because it's got a 1 to 1.5 ratio, it can go in a bowl or it can go in a bottle. And it can go in a bottle because I've already heard that like, oh, I bet it can. I'm sure it can. It's a cream. It really can. It will all sink to the bottom. It's not going to stick around the sides. I've already been asked that. It's going to come easily out of that bottle, so it's great for toners and quick application because the whole point, time is money. You got to get that color on fast. So you can use a bottle. It's a clean color. And I've already had stylists like, I don't know why I should care about that. 10 years ago, I wouldn't think so either. But now, guess everybody's clean eating, clean living, everybody's squeaky, squeaky, squeaky clean. And so there's nothing in here. No ammonia, no drying alcohols, no fragrances, no preservatives, only what is necessary, which is the dye and the MEAs. But it's also, we're the brand about client or stylists. We've always been that brand. A clean color is also safe for stylists. You know, I've been doing this long enough. I have contact dermatitis. Those fragrances are rough in those colors. This is a little bit more gentler of an option for stylists, which truly I love because I've been doing this a minute. I can only imagine the chemicals I've been exposed to in my career. So a clean color serves the client, but also the stylist. This does have lift. And I want people to understand that, like true Shades EQ users, that's direct deposit only. When we lift, we can expose warmth. It's only up to 1 level. So it's not the same kind of warmth what you're thinking of when you expose with permanent color, but it is a level of warmth. So they really do need to be mindful when they're lifting, what color am I exposing? And sometimes that can be forgotten. So if you're going from a 6 to a 7, you're exposing orange. You might want to make sure there's some blue in your formula. It doesn't have to be intense. Our ends are blue-violet. Mix that into your formula. That way it's counteracting some of that warmth. So it's just something to be mindful of. But also, this has hydromagnetic technology in it. And that sounds so fancy. It's so
It's got laser beams in it?
Oh, it's so, like, people look at me like, what the hell is that? What? And I'm like, yes, here, let me break this down. Hydromagnetic, like Star Wars. Here you go.
It's lasers.
Yes, it does it all. With that, it's got humectants. And the big thing I always describe to hairstylists is we've all been there when we color hair and we get done and the hair just feels dry. And then we've got to mask everything with balms, all of that. And then we have to rely on our clients to do that at home, and they're not going to. Most will not. So what humectants do in color is it traps the moisture in. But there's also those guests that came in after watching a Brad Mondo video and they're already damaged to begin with. So then we put things like shea butter in it to keep it moisturized. Vitamins are put into this to help nourish the hair, which is great for straight hair guests, but it's also good for people like me. There is nothing worse than coloring curly hair and then they're a fuzzball afterwards. So this makes sure it stays moisturized. The true caveat of this is the tripeptide bond. And it sounds fancy, but as I ask all stylists, your hair is made up of bonds. When you color hair, when you lighten hair, you no matter what are going to break bonds. That's just the long and short of it. We cannot change that. But what this does is it goes in, it restructures those bonds to make sure that hair is strong. It is not going to snap off, so the hair actually feels healed after one use. Personally, for me, I do color corrections behind the chair. That's what I do. That's what my entire career has been built on. I don't want to play the guessing game of, is this the last color that's going to snap the hair? This is actually going to heal the hair. So stylists can feel a little bit more at ease. And what I want people to understand is it's no secret that we're owned by L'Oreal. It's no secret. L'Oreal corporate owns us. You can see sometimes that different companies will share some technology under the L'Oreal umbrella. This was made just for us. We are the only color that is going to have this, the tripeptide bond put into it, because we are the brand founded on healthy hair. We truly believe that is what hair should be, is healthy, not just a pretty color. So this will actually heal the hair. But with that being said, it heals the hair that you're covering gray. Gray hair needs so much moisture. As someone who is about 50% gray, you need it. You need it. So with that being said, this covers up to 75% gray. And I've noticed some confusion when I go into hair salons. They think like, oh, they're only going to cover 75% of the hair. Like only 75 is getting covered. It's the percentage of gray. So the percentage of white. What I want stylists to understand is pepper, that silvery color, is still a level. You can expose warmth with that. You have to know the level. Don't guess it. Don't guess the level. You cannot, I don't care how many years you've been doing it. You cannot look at someone and say, that's a 5, that's a 6, that's a 7. If you don't know for sure, that could be the difference between I exposed red or I exposed orange. The two colors that cancel those are two totally different things. You gotta know what you're exposing. But because we're using 10 volume, here's like, baby stylists might not know it yet, but they will. They'll get, as their clientele ages, they're gonna know this problem. When we use permanent color, we use 20 volume. You get 2 levels of lift with 20 volume. So I use myself as an example. I'm a natural level 4. When I use permanent color, I lift up into a 6. I always still like to use a 4, but underneath my 4, it lifted to a 6. So now I've exposed red. I hate red in my hair color. I absolutely hate it. So what I would do is I would mix the shade that covers gray, which is usually an N. Most stylists across the board know an N covers gray. But when you mix something that's not meant to cover gray, like an NA, that's cool, you lose gray coverage. It starts to look a little more translucent. And I don't think that's talked enough about in gray coverage. But also, to cancel my warmth, I had to mix an NA with my N. I had to. But that warmth is still there. So when my color fades, that red's exposed again. And every stylist knows that pain of those gray coverage clients that come in and they're like, well, my hair faded warm. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to use 20 volume. With this, you use 10 volume. So it's only up to 1 level. You're barely exposing warmth. So when it fades, they don't feel like they're insanely warm. So now we have a solution to the problem. But also, we gave you 5 shades to cover gray, not just an N. We gave you an N, GI, NCH, NB, and an NA. NA covers gray, which is wild because most gray coverage people want to be cooler because of the warmth that does get exposed. NA covers gray on its own. You don't lose any gray coverage by mixing an NA with an N. You don't have to do that anymore. So it fully covers. So those 5 cover up to 75%. Everything else covers up to 50%. So if they're the cowboy copper and they've got some sparkles, they can take a CB, slap it on the head, it'll cover the gray. So truly everything else covers 50%. The 5 power shades will cover up to 75%. So younger stylists don't know it yet, but as your guests age, permanent color, it's like the bane of hairstylist existence because it doesn't look believable. So then they want to highlight it. And I don't care how much of a blonding expert you are. Every stylist knows that when you lift through that permanent color, you're going to get an orange band. Every time. The problem is now I got to play the game of, do I leave the lightener on longer and risk the hair breaking off? Because there was already permanent color on it to begin with. So there's already damage as there is. Or do I pull it and give her a shadow root and deal with it later? Because it's going to come back. You're going to have to deal with that later. Whereas with this only lives in the cuticle. It's so much easier to lift out of the hair. I have yet to experience an orange band with it. Like, it comes out so easily. So if you have guests that are highlighting and covering gray at the same time, I cannot stress enough, come over to this. It makes your life so much easier. But with this level of lift, it also has the thing that I'm trying to explain to stylists is, yes, that level of lift is great from taking a 6 to a 7, a 7 to an 8. That's fabulous. Where it's going to save your butt, every stylist has done it. We pull our highlights too soon, and we need that level 10, and we're sitting at a level 9, and our clients are going to be upset. They wanted that perfect white color. With Shades EQ, it's direct deposit only. So you're putting another layer on top of that 9. So it can sometimes feel darker. Like, truly, it can feel a little bit dark. With ALK, if she's a 9, take a 10. Bump her up to a 10. That's your, if we make an we can fix it real quick. But because I've already been asked, if I use it as a toner, it has a level of lift. So am I going to expose warmth? You will. But that's what makes Redken color different. We have the backgrounds. We have the black to gray, the brown to tan, and the no background. 9V in Shades EQ is in a no background. It's pure violet tone. With ALK, it's in a black to gray. That black to gray background is going to smoke out any warmth that you expose. I have done it on so many guests because I will never recommend a stylist do something unless I've tried it. And I will fully say there's no warmth being exposed because the black to gray smokes it out, but it looks softer, which is what the blondes want anyways. They want their roots to look soft. They don't want to be like stark black roots.
Right.
So blondes are loving it. They're great for base breakers because Redken base breakers have gone away because they're kind of irrelevant now. They only did up to 1 level lift. These do too. We gave you 50 shades. So now you have 50 shades for base breakers. And those are fabulous for those dark hair clients because when you put a level 10 next to a level 5, it's going to look stripy no matter what you do. Now, I don't care how great your foil game is. It's going to look harsh. This can soften it. So great for base breakers. If you've got those guests who are still holding on to the all over blonding services that slap lightener all over the head, they get spotty. So truly, slap us all over their head. Even them out. Get rid of the splotches. Shades EQ, if it goes on an uneven level, on an uneven canvas, it's going to look uneven. Whereas this can even it out. But here's where I want people to understand. ALK is not always necessary either. Once the canvas is even, go back to Shades EQ. There's no reason to keep popping up in the cuticle. Yeah. There's no reason for lift. Close back down their cuticle. Keep their hair health in mind. That is the difference right now. It's not about pretty colors anymore. We are now set to a higher standard. Healthy hair has to be at the forefront of our minds. So there's no point in popping the cuticle open when she's nice and bright. Slap Shades EQ on it at that point. When she starts to dull out again, use this to brighten her up again. Color doesn't lift color, but color can shift color. So if you have reds that are starting to brown out on the ends, use this. It'll bump it, make it bright again. Next time you Shades EQ. Keep using it until she starts to brown out again. And that's it. It's finding where this fits into your regimen.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it's such a nice tool, like a new tool.
It's a new tool.
Like, hey, there's the things you were doing. Now there's a tool that makes it easier and look better and feel better.
Yes.
If you learn how to use it.
And alkaline demis, they're not like new in the industry. You know, a lot of lines have them. But the best thing about us coming late to the table is that we got to look at what you all were complaining about. You know, what is wrong with the other brands that you're not liking? Let's change it with ours. Some of the things we saw, it dries the hair out. So we fixed that. There's too many harsh chemicals. We made you clean color. The color feels hollow. Color, if it's not full body, it's going to make the hair look unhealthy. We have backgrounds. That's what always sets our color apart. I cannot get over how many different salons I go into that carry different color brands, but they always have Shades EQ.
Yeah.
They always do. It's an amazing color. Why in the world would you grab for a different color trying to match it up with Shades EQ when it's right here? This matches up tone for tone. It takes the guesswork out of it. I don't want to guess anymore. And one of the coolest things about this, and I teach it more in the ALK classes, is the clear in ALK is amazing. Shades EQ Clear, fabulous for shine surfaces. ALK Clear, color doesn't lift color, but clear isn't a color. It's see-through, but it is still going to lift. So if you have guests that have purple shampoo buildup, we've all been there where we highlight is pretty here and garbage down here because it's all dingy. We have to play the game of bleach washes, and you can only do that so many times. What you can do, slap some clear on those ends, it'll pull out that purple shampoo. What I tell the stylist to do is do your regrowth, and in the same foil, put clear on the ends, fold it up. It's a clean color. Nothing's going to react in the hair. Nothing is there to hurt the hair, but it is going to pull that purple shampoo out, so you have an even canvas all the way through. It's amazing. Do tip outs with it. It's got the tripeptide bond. It's healing the hair as it's working instead of trying to slap lightener on it and just hoping it doesn't melt off.
And we're coming into that season of purple shampoos.
We are. And I cannot...
And we're coming into season where maybe they were doing the lived-in look and wanting to change more to blonde, where you're...
100%. And that's already hard enough. Like, that is hard
enough. But that's
enough.
easier if they're using ALK with the lived-in look.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
will save them when they switch in the summertime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because truly the hair was healed. I don't have to worry about the hair already being in bad condition and then sizzling it further. But when the spectrum comes back around and we have to go from blonde to lived-in looks, that's the worst.
Yeah.
It's something that hairstylists are starting to see as such a pain. With Shades EQ, you would almost have to go down a level to hide that regrowth line. In 6 weeks, it fades out. That line's still there. I am telling stylists, use ALK as your drop-down route, feather it up into the new growth, it lifts a level. So when it fades out, it softened out that line. Like, it actually got rid of that regrowth line. Also, you don't have to go as dark with ALK because it's so much more pigmented. If you use a 6 on a level 10 blonde, it's black. Instantly, it's black to them. You can use an 8, and it gives them enough pigment where they're going to see it without having to commit to a darker level. So it's that really good in between. So I encourage people when they're doing lived-in looks, when you need to brighten, come over here. Don't grab into harsh things like permanent color and lightener when it's not necessary. Once you use the harshest product, that's kind of it. Can't go up from there.
Yeah.
Start slow and move your way up. It's how you take care of the hair.
Got a low dose.
Low dose it. And I teach that more in the ALK classes. So I always you can get snippets from podcasts, but real time in a class, I can really go into depth and tell you more.
Oh, if you're doing a formulation class with ALK, how fun would that be for?
Oh, it would be such a
good learning
experience.
a
good day.
Yeah.
And formulation days, if they're busy in the chair, that's so amazing because we can help formulate. But if you're not busy, even better. I have found ways where I will put formulas on the board. Here's your client. What are we going to do?
Oh, that's cool.
What are we going to do? And they're just looking at me this is real time.
Mm-hmm.
We got to know. And I might put maybe a level 5 and they'll just roll with it. And I'm did you know for sure she was a level 5? Did you ask? Did you go look? Because you might not have. And it's it's that stuff, that little stuff when you're formulating, you got to know it. You got to know the level. But they have so much fun with it. And I know salon owners love it for their hair associates because they're not technically working behind the chair, but they got to start getting their brains working as a hairstylist. You're no longer a hair student. You are now a hairstylist.
Yeah.
You're not quite behind the chair yet, but you're getting ready to be.
Yeah.
So you got to start working. So people are loving ALK. People are just absolutely loving it.
Loved it.
And that's the big pain is the lift. You just got to be mindful of it.
Yeah.
You just got to be mindful of that lift.
Yeah.
And that's across the board with anything that lifts. Lightener, permanent color. It's just something we forget about because we're so used to Shades EQ that doesn't lift. But Shades EQ is not enough. And we have to put lift into this color so that you can cover gray. There has to be lift. But it's not the lift of 20 volume.
Right.
So, and I've already heard it. I actually heard it from Moon Salon. Can we use 20 volume? I'm gosh, you guys just can't wait. You can't wait to break a rule. So truly, I think it's important on a podcast when I talk about this, telling stylists no does not serve them. It does not serve them because we're the bad kids at school. We can't wait to break a rule.
Yeah.
We can't wait. So the way I want them to think about it is this is only designed to get one level of lift. With 20 volume, that is designed for products that can do 2 levels of lift. So I always tell them, think of a game of Pac-Man. Pac-Man's coming along at 10 volume, just kind of chilling. 20 volume, it goes too fast. Those little dots are your dye molecules. So in a situation where you exposed orange, you chose blue. And in stylists' minds, we're like, oh, 20 volume, more power. When in reality, you got more speed. So then the Pac-Man comes along and eats up all your blue dots. So that by the time it deposits, you got nothing. And she's still orange.
Okay.
So it's so important because it's something that somehow it was taught. It's misinformation that you can use whatever developers with different colors. You need to use the developer that they say, because that is potentially what could happen. You wasted the color, didn't work, still orange.
And it's not the color's fault.
That's the color's fault. But I already know that's what's going to get spun. So I like to touch on that. And it's just something that was told to us a long time ago, that developer is what gives color its power, when in reality it's just the speed. It's the same with lighteners. I tell people, do not be afraid with Blonde IQ with 20 and 30. It is just the speed. Your developers are acidic. They're actually what control those alkaline products. It's the lightener, not the developer.
Yeah.
So use your 30. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Speak it up.
This is a lot of information.
It is a lot.
Great information.
There's a lot.
This is going to be great for people. Anything else you want to touch on real quick before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. I think I touched the main points with this. Like, color fusion is not irrelevant. Like, I've been asked that a lot. Like, is permanent color, like, is that even necessary now with this? It is, because what happens, like, when I was younger, I went through the Rihanna red phase where, everybody was redheaded. I'm a level 4. You can't cover my gray and get me to a level 6 where her color lives with something that only lists one level.
Right.
That's when you need to reach into permanent color. I need more than one level, so I need to reach into permanent color. If you don't want lift, Shades EQ.
Yeah.
But if you want it brighter and you want more power of color, you want that level of lift, you want some versatility with gray coverage, you can come over here and just find out where it fits. Just knowing that you don't get rid of the salt and pepper just because you have a new spice. That's you gotta go still with your tried and trues.
Right.
So that's it.
All right. Good. Can you real quick give me, when you're behind the chair, what do you think your top 5 go-to products are?
ABC 5-minute liquid mask, my favorite. The new bandage balm, 100%, because I have so many clients that don't want to do haircuts. And if they don't do a haircut, the hair is going to split. This keeps it from doing it more. Oh, let's see. Shades EQ Crystal Clear for those shine treatments is one of my favorites. Absolutely.
I think that gets forgotten a lot.
I don't know why that gets slept on so much. Like,
it's the cycle of information.
It'll come back around. We tried to revamp it when the acidic color gloss came out. I'm like, no, you need this. You need to be using this. And it's starting to take hold. The 24/7 serum, my favorite, because I have guests that don't wash their hair all the time, so they're not getting the full benefits of ABC. If you wash your hair only once a week, you're not getting the full benefits. 24/7, they can use that daily, still get the citric acid, still get that strengthening, still get the hydration, because they haven't washed their hair for 10 days. They still are getting it.
So this is a great product for people who aren't daily washers.
Absolutely.
I'm not a daily washer.
No one really is anymore.
No one is anymore. So
no
like
one
a
is.
24/7 is a filler.
It's a filler for those people, because
that's really important to
know. It is, because guests don't wash their hair and they're like, well, the product's not working.
Yeah.
You're not washing your nasty hair enough.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So this is a good in-between, never going to weigh down their hair. It's fabulous. And then for me, my personal favorite is the Stay High Mousse.
Okay.
I use it in my own hair.
Yeah.
Because blowouts are so popular.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought in a million years blowouts would have a comeback. If they're using the Dyson Airwrap, if they're using the Revlon power brushes, they need a product to get that lifted. It's not going to hold. I don't care how cool the Dyson Airwrap is. It's not going to get the volume unless there's a product in it. Stay High Mousse is going to hold it.
Stop sleeping on Stay High Mousse.
Stop sleeping on it. They took it away, and then they had to bring it back because hairstylists were so upset. And I'm like, well, then use it. Then use it.
But, okay, so no, the people who don't shampoo once a week, you want 24/7. The people who don't get haircuts all the time.
Bandage balm.
Bandage balm.
And this, I want people to understand, people are so hateful on the balms because they're so greasy. Ours is not. It's a cream. So you don't have to worry about it being greasy and oily. It's also acidic. Takes care of that cuticle, makes sure it stays closed. It also has the citric acid that's found in all the ABC products. So that really helps strengthen that cuticle and that end to make sure they're not snapping off. Okay. But it's like what it says. It's a bandage. It glues those split ends together so that your client's hair does not continue to split and they need a bigger haircut. So it's kind of one of those things I tell my guests, we either do the haircut or we do this or we do both. Whichever one we gotta do here. But you gotta do one or the other. Because truly you can't leave with these ends like this.
Yeah.
So you gotta do one or the other.
Consultations.
Don't always
you
give
ain't
them
leaving here. You're one or the other. You're not leaving.
You're paying me money either way. So which one do you want to do here?
Awesome. Well, we got to do this again.
Absolutely.
Obviously, there's going to be new products come out and new information and things we need to get over. This was amazing.
I had fun.
Oh, this information they so need to have, and I encourage everyone to get you in the salon all the time.
Absolutely. And whether it's going through the sales rep or texting me directly, I will get you a class. We will find you a day that works.
How do you like to be contacted?
You can always text me. I notice people try to call me and I'm in a class.
Yeah, calling's so bad anymore.
Texting, I can see it and I know I need to get back to it. If you call me, I probably am not going to remember that you called me.
Yeah, that's the way I am too.
Unless you leave me a voicemail, I'm probably not going to remember. Email, you can email me. It sometimes gets lost in the 5 million emails that Redken sends me.
Text. What about DMs? You check your DMs?
You can DM me. You can text me. I am a true millennial. I always am checking my DMs and text messages. So
what's your Instagram handle?
Maggie.Redken.
Okay. Easy.
So it's easy. I'm easy. So, but yeah, that's where I post all the new stuff.
Okay.
Inspiration. It's all there.
So follow Maggie.
Follow me.
DM Maggie for class.
Yep.
Talk to me.
Yep.
I'll get you in contact.
Jason's always a big advocate.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, thanks for doing this.
Of
This is great.
course.